Yeah, coming to you from Australia, the land down under, Terra Nullius, for the British Empire, for Revolution Radio on revolution.radio. That's right. It's one of the fresh ideas. Well, lukewarm, somewhat watered. Conversations are good. I'm not in the chat yet, but I will get there shortly. I promise I'll get there. Anyway, the chat is always good, so if you can get in there, it's good stuff. Really good stuff. Key message, though, for everybody. This station doesn't get any money from anyone, except for you. So if you can donate, please do. If you cannot, that's okay. Tell somebody about the station. This program, if you like, or the Chinese Head Out, that's good too. You know, and maybe one of those good people can donate and make the station bathe itself in electrons. Oh yeah, baby. Cryptos, welcome, by the way. Today is the 23rd of November, 2023. 23/11/23. That's what we're completely meaningless, but we find it funny because obviously, you know, it means something to us. 23/11/23. 11:03 p.m. here in rainy Australia. You can catch the cave on the air, on the line, and on your smart device. It's a grab and have to listen anywhere. Or listen at home on Grace Table Digital Radio. Dave actually puts up really cool pictures, so you can actually watch it too. You can watch the show, not just listen to it, if you like. Archives are free. That's good. That's good. Archives are free. So go on and abuse the archives. Abuse. That's right. Just download whatever you like. Just don't even listen to it. Just download it. No, seriously, they're free, so you can enjoy those if you like. Before we start broadcasting at you in anger, we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land from which we broadcast. And for Dave,
it's the Dark and Jungle.
That's someone. For Dave.
Did you hear me? Hello.
Hola.
Oh. Hello.
Hello, Dave.
Yeah.
I know you're there.
So do I know.
See you.
Okay. Mick, you can't hear me yet.
For Dave, it's usually the dark and young people, and for me, of course, the rock people. And with that, we like to pay our respects to elders, past, present, and future. Thank you very much. And I can see Dave, right. And I think there you go. There he is. Hey, he talks. He talks. It's alive. How are you, buddy?
There's some lovely filth over here. What's bizarre, Mickey, is I couldn't make the show on Tuesday morning. Kentucky time.
Yeah, because of Optus, right?
Yeah, we had another Optus outage, and I got a message in the morning. There was no, guess what? We're going to be working in the area message beforehand. It was only when it all went south, and they said, well, we're still going to be doing it for another 2 weeks now. So they tried to back it out, and then it failed. And
what?
Then, yeah, they're doing some upgrade in our area. But it's only on the cell towers. It shouldn't affect me at all on NBN, which is our cable. Yeah, and anyway, it did. And I did a whole bunch of testing. I could ping Google, I could ping Facebook, I could ping all these different sites. I just couldn't get to their webpage. And oddly, the webpage was so slow to load that even speed test wouldn't even load. So it was only like 1 bit per second, not kilobit. The ping would come through, but that was about the extent of it, and nothing else worked. So very strange. I don't know what they were doing. I don't really care. Just to say, it wasn't like the connection had failed.
Yeah, it's odd.
Yeah, it was HTTP and HTTPS traffic, which didn't go anywhere. And then I tried to SSH to some things and I couldn't. So that's all technical talk for trying to, go outside of the norm of hitting a web page. So anyway, it was up in the morning again, and I think it was like 8 hours of outage. And yeah, so thank you, whoever thought that up. I think they're trying to put 5G in the tower, is what I think they're trying to do. And that should... That's,
five.
I'm not using 5G, no. My phone's 5G phone, but, I'm never anywhere where it matters. And 5G...
My brain runs on 11G, but that's just...
11G. So, I liked the 2G that transmitted for heaps. 20 miles, right? 2G.
Yeah.
3G, half that. 4G, half it again. 5G is 250 meters. They're talking about 6G as being looking like a double helix. Well, each one of those helixes is out of phase from each other, and they can condense those helixes to be all out of phase in, I don't know how many slices of pizza you want, but something like 16 or 20 of those. So to get the same bandwidth of 5G, but 20 times more, is what they're working on.
Yeah.
But there's no standard. We don't even have a standard for 5G.
Yeah. It's all part of the... Actually, I don't know what it's part of, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think we're just throwing things out now. As far as tech goes, let's just throw some stuff out into the mix and see what sticks. Right? What? It's I don't know, man. I think we're going to go back to string communication. It's going to be string to string. You're gonna have a tin can. I'll have a tin can, and it's going to be a very taut string in the middle.
I want a quantum string, Mickey.
A quantum string. Yeah.
It's a tin can just sitting on my desk. It looks like it does nothing, but when you put it to your ear, I can hear you.
I want you to buy a physics book which contains all the proof for string theory.
I'm in a quantum entanglement.
How many pages is
tin
that?
Cans. I'll send you one in the mail.
That sounds good. Oh, that's gold. Having said that, communications are clearly breaking down. In Australia, all our carriers, and maybe this is just like the war game.
It's kind of like Banks, Mickey. It's like Banks or Enron. It looked like it was perfect,
like
and then it just fell over.
Yeah, let's just whoosh, and she's obviously gone. She had to resign.
But
we're
that's a forced push, right? Yeah.
I'm really upset about a whole bunch of stuff, as you know. But this one thing upsets me the most. And this is what it is. I had a conversation with a couple of dads when we picked up our kids from school the other day. Might have been yesterday. Anyway, the people that we discussed this day, the people that make the decision for our lives, decisions such as interest rates, going to war, setting prices, for things, assigning laws, all of that stuff. All these people that make these decisions are never touched by them. Mm-hmm. Never. There's no one in that space is ever touched by any of the decisions they make. Mm-hmm. And that, in my opinion, is the biggest problem that we have. If the people that made the decisions were affected by them in the same fashion that you and I are, I think a lot of decisions would look very different.
Yeah, right? That's true.
I mean, let me put it this way. How many members of parliament, or even part of the cabinet, or high-ranking bureaucrats, let alone the governor of the Reserve Bank, right? How many of them do you think have a mortgage? Okay? Mm-hmm. That'll be very few. In fact, they have numerous investment properties, etc., that they're A-okay. Don't you worry about that. And that's really the fundamental issue, because they don't get it. I'm reminded of Rishi Sunak. Sunak,
That'll
whatever his
do.
name is.
Yep.
The
UK Prime
British
Minister, yeah.
Prime Minister. He went to a shelter or some such thing, homeless shelter. I can't remember. This was just
Was he
last year,
lost?
and there was a homeless guy there, and they talked, right, like politicians do, and he goes, "Oh, you should work in the city. You should work in the city." Now, for those of you that don't know what that means, in London there's a place that's called the City. It's not the city of London; it's actually the city, which is the heart of the banking system. It's also the heart of the British banking empire, the global one, believe it or not. Everything happens in the city. So, this homeless guy, he might have been a smart homeless guy, don't get me wrong, but you got Rishi Sunak there, worth hundreds of millions of pounds, and he's saying to this homeless guy, you should work in the city. That's a short route to success. That's what happened. We'll just hire him now. It's out of my way. I want to hire that guy.
Why was Sunak at the homeless shelter? Was he lost?
Nah, I think it was just one of those photo ops. He cares about the homeless. He gave him a bowl of soup. Maybe he cut his hair. I don't know. Point is, it's ridiculous. People at the top, figuratively speaking, of the pyramid, right? Parasites have lost complete touch, and this is really what led to the French Revolution.
Exactly.
Right? Losing touch with the people. And now, Marie Antoinette never actually.
She never
said,
let them eat cake. Right?
Let them eat cake.
Yeah.
Right? She never said that. But she might as well have.
Let them eat croissants.
She might as well have, because croissants. Actually, yeah, there were croissants. You know what croissants actually were made in remembrance of? It was the siege of Vienna by the Turks that was defeated by the European armies, and as an act of triumph, they started baking crescent-shaped rolls.
Like the Arc
de
Triomphe. Because...
Yeah. Well, not really.
No,
it's more
but
like in the Turkish flag there's a half moon.
Yeah.
So it's all good. So to I guess to stop the nose of the Turks, they're going, we eat your crescent moon. Look at us. It's full of butter. It's beautiful. It's delicious. I'll eat it.
Panda butter. There you go. Yeah. In every croissant.
So
I'm only kidding.
The croissant.
Croissant.
Croissant. But it is upsetting that
we're having a French off. That's what we were doing just then.
That's what happened. What is upsetting that these people that are making the rules is they don't have to live under them. And that's really.
What's that? Is that an oligarchy, Mackie?
Well, yeah, that's where we are pretty much.
Yeah.
An oligarchy is the rule by a few wealthy families. That's pretty much where we are.
And I see that as the WEF. And I think I might have sent it to you. I'm not sure, but there's a lady at the WEF talking to the WEF folk. And she said, our plans are fantastic. Talking about the Great Reset and everything, the context is all of that. And she said, but I fear we might be losing the people's buy-in. And that was this month. So
I think
there's got to be something coming down the pike now that they're going to try and get us back on track again. Because, Mackie, they announced in the US that they're going to have rolling blackouts. They've announced in winter, because we want you to go to heat pumps, which are electric. We don't want those oil-fired, wood-fired furnaces anymore, gas. No, you've got to go electric. But the electrical grid isn't so good because, people are using it. So we're going to have this is America, that we're going to have rolling blackouts. In Australia, they're saying you're going to have rolling blackouts. Why is that? Because we don't want everyone turning their air conditioning on all at once. But in the same breath, if you're in Adelaide, you're not allowed to have a new house with a gas connection, like town gas, like city gas. Can't have that anymore. In Melbourne, same. and it's just a matter of time before it comes to you. But at the same
Yeah,
time, there isn't
I
enough
know
power.
that's
They keep complaining, Mecca, there's not enough power.
yeah, but see, gas doesn't actually require power as it were. So gas is a cheap alternative to heat your home and to cook.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, right? But you're right, though. They don't bring gas. In fact, I prefer to cook with a flame, gas in
me
this
too.
case, because I have more control that way. It's just I don't know. It's just
Look, we've done it for centuries.
I'm a leftover.
No, we've done it for centuries, and it was an option 20 years ago when we built our house. And yes, we've got gas. We have a gas cooktop with electric oven. And I think what's really important, though, is my message was they've pre-announced rolling blackouts in both countries. Now, I haven't seen them anywhere else, but in some countries I expect it.
That way you can't get upset.
Hello, India.
Talk about it.
Right? Uh-huh. They
Well,
have power sharing in India. It's not your turn to get power.
Power sharing. I guess that's true.
It's like when you go to one of those timeshare seminars, but it's electric share seminar. Look, it's just a shame. It's a shame, Mickey, that's what they're doing to us, yeah?
I think
I think it's like a 4-second delay when I stop talking, Mickey, before you start again.
I think there is. You're breaking up just a little bit. Sorry, no, I was going to say there is a. I went to India, and ultimately, my colleague took me to the window in the boardroom and said, "Look up in the street." So I look up in the street. There's a whole bunch of vendors, like food vendors, probably 30, 40 people selling stuff in the street, right? And there's cables, and there's like it's a spaghetti war of cables, of electricity cables everywhere. It's just hilarious. But there's a lot of, but every stand has a cable going to it. He says, "Do you see that?" Yes, I do. None of these stands is paying for electricity. They're all skimming electricity. The grid, this was in Delhi or Noida. The grid in India, he says, is designed to service the people that are paying for electricity. That's what it's designed for. But because these people, for every person that pays for it, another 30 or 40 are stealing electricity, putting load on the grid.
Yeah.
And that, he said, is what leads to the brownouts. I said, I see.
The brownouts probably someone electrocuting himself. Yeah.
Well, there's that, right?
There's that
but
as well.
Look, it's always people, Dave. It's always people, right? What's the problem, people?
Do you know, Becky?
Why is this not working? Oh,
that's
people.
Right. People, yeah. I picked up my daughter from school, and her friend was walking with them, and I'm not going to just abandon the friend. So Trini, my daughter, said, "Can you can drop my friend at home?" And I go, "Yeah, sure, no worries." And so they were talking about AI at school, and I think it's like year 9, and they were, I think warning about that AI is heartless and it won't make decisions governing humans in the same way a human would. I said, look, I hear you. That's a really good point you're making there. I said, but what about where humans are the problem because of our greed and like what we've spoken about on the radio? And I said, I'm just going to let you pause there for a second and have a think about that, and then tell me if you agree or you disagree, and tell me why. Because I like hearing other people's opinions on things, right? Year 9, that's pretty good, right? 15-year-old, what are they thinking these days? And I think it was very difficult for them to let go of the AI's not got emotion, so it's not going to rule us very well. I said, well, is it greedy? Well, no. But then it has its own motives, does it? Right. So they were given a really, really hard look, I think, at the coalface of what AI's bad side could be. And I've been watching a whole bunch of AI Meki where docos where AI in the military, blah blah blah. I think you know what I'm talking about. Very interesting view of both sides, but what we talked about was only governance over humans. And as long as it never saw us as being the problem.
I'll be honest with you, Dave, I only catch every third word.
Really? Maybe there's doing more work, and I'm gonna relax and leave the floor to you, my friend.
What I heard was there's a relaxing flirty trend. That's what I heard you say. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. This reminds me of the bad old days. When we had these constant interruptions to our program. Hasn't happened like this in quite some time. But this reminds me of those days. I just checked with the chat to see what our audio is like, but I'm probably going to listen to the recording later. I'm just hoping that we can't hear each other, but you come through clear to the audience. That's the main thing. It doesn't matter if I can hear you or not, but it's all good. But I just wanted to say one thing. Today in Australia, radio is 100 years old. Radio is 100 years old. The very first time that was now called ABC News Radio broadcast for the first time 100 years ago on this day. So yeah, ABC, that's right. So that's pretty cool. Happy birthday to radio in Australia, 1923, and it's still here. People said, "Oh, radio's dead." It's still here. I just want to read out how much proof there is for string theory. No experiment has definitively proven string theory to be the fundamental theory of nature. However, the ideas of string theory have passed countless theoretical and mathematical tests. But no proof. Oh. Am I out or are you out? One of us is out. Dave?
I heard
the beep beep phone thing. Are you still there, buddy?
No, I'm here.
Oh, you're there. Okay. It must have been me dropping. Maybe I'm getting the opposite treatment. Oh man, you gotta love technology. You gotta love when things don't work, right? You just wait until things don't work in anger and see what happens. We're gonna be in all kinds of strife. But yeah, look, what I wanted to talk to you about today, though, is the thing that is rapidly developing around the world, where we're polarizing into right-wing nations and left-wing nations. And just now, as a massive surprise to everybody, the Dutch elected an extremely right-wing, politician, Geert Wilders. He looks like a scary Donald Trump. He looks like a ventriloquist's puppet with his hair and the face. I'll be honest with you, that's what he looks like. Geert Wilders, a scary Donald Trump. Will you be my puppet? Can I put my hand up your internals? Let me be your puppet. And what a lot of the right-wing leaders in Europe are saying now is that, including Geert Wilders, is that they no longer want to support the Ukrainian war effort, Dave. They say that's something we don't want to do. And they're saying, oh, Putin is a good guy. We like Putin. He's a strong man. We need to more Putin, less Zelensky. That's what we need. The story is changing by the moment. don't know. It's a funny old world. And to top it all off, here in Australia, we have a massive, Dave, you've probably heard, red plague. Has it come to Narara yet?
No,
it's going into
these
the fishing towns.
bush rats.
Any rats out your way? No, actual rats. Rats.
No.
Yeah, hundreds and thousands of these suckers. A veritable plague. Well, it only stands to reason. Native rats. Maybe they're native rats. It's possible. Native rats. A rat is a rat as far as I'm concerned. Do they have pouches? Are they marsupials? I don't know. But it's not good. It is not a good thing. I'm cutting cocaine. Oh no, that's my mouse. I'm scraping a fleeced surf. It's my mouse. It's my mouse. This is it. Can you hear that?
That's right.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good, Mike. I tell you what.
I know it'll pick up.
And how do you know? And how do you know that's what it sounds like?
Back at you, Fleece. There you go.
Hey. And how do you know it comes in rock form anyway? I mean, not that I know. I mean, I've heard things, I guess. Yeah, sure, Becky. Sure, you hear many things.
I've seen Hollywood, Mickey. Out of form.
Out of form, that's it. But it's actually not. See, now the connection is perfect, Dave.
Yeah, right. That's weird.
I can hear you.
I'm sure it's my provider.
No, I did yeah, it must be. I did do some unsavory things in my youth, so I'm familiar with the demi-monde of the cities, the great dark underbelly. Actually, I know quite a few of those people that you see in the underbelly TV shows.
Oh, here we go.
Not intimately.
Not good.
True story. A lot of them used to work out where I used to work out in the West. So it was just a gym. We had the funny thing is they were margin lenders and investment bankers, and then you had the other side of the equation as well. It's quite an eclectic crowd that used to go to that gym. Pretty cool stuff. So yeah, my friend.
So bush rats, no. Bush rats were what they said on the ABC today. And they haven't. We've got bush rats anyway, but they're really smart. I've trapped them in metal cages, and they've opened the latch and escaped while I watched them.
Wow.
So they're super smart, and no wonder there's a plague. But it takes a good, like 12 weeks or something for them to be born and to be self-sufficient, right? So you can only imagine with the rain that we've had prior and the food that they needed to eat and the conditions to be right for it to be in plague proportions. We're just seeing the end of that now, right? We've seen the end of the plentiful, and now we've got a rat plague. And it's the same thing that happens when there's mice plague. Just that they're optimal, it's like hydroponics. They've got their optimal growing cycle, and if everything's supplied at the right time, it's on. It's game on. So, no, they're not here, Meki. They're still further up the coast.
You still there, brother?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, just check the messages, Mickey.
Got the. I think I. Yeah. Look. The thing that worries me though is this. Apparently in Australia, we're falling off another mortgage cliff. A lot of people are coming off fixed rate home loans and are going onto the new, whatever the new rates are. So that's happening around now, and that's a fairly large number of people. So I think we can see now the effects of the crisis worsening, which is odd though. I'll tell you why it's odd. Because house prices are going up in Sydney and generally in Australia, but especially in Sydney. House prices are going up. So we've got people that might have to foreclose, but house prices are going up. It doesn't compute. All I can think of that people with money are snapping up these houses. Right? They're going, I'm not going to buy you, so you're going to sell, I'm going to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I think, and we're seeing the concentration of wealth in the hands of the few, yet again. And I don't know, it's just, it's getting to the point where the new future as envisioned by the IMF and World Bank, etc., by Mr. Schwab, Charles, actually his name is Klaus Schwab, it's going to be a relief for a lot of people, Dave, I think.
Well,
a lot of people
the living wage will be a relief.
That's what I mean, yeah. So, because, I mean, okay, so mortgage stress has forced you out of a home. You can't afford rent. So what these globalists then, come and say, say, hey, you don't have to, the parasites, right? You don't have to own anything. You don't have any stress. That's I think where the happy piece comes in, right? You be happy. Don't own anything. You clearly can't own anything. You're not adult enough, so just let's not own anything. You'd be happy. Here's your place to live. You can live here. We tell you where to live, but nonetheless, there it is. And here's all the food you can eat. It's Soylent Green. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Fodder. And here you go. Just live here in this place where we told you to live, and you're eating what we tell you to eat, and you don't have to worry about mortgages or anything else. And here's some money, some tokens you can spend on all the things that we have in the shops for you to buy. No, you can't go anywhere else. No, there's no black market economy. No, there's no bartering. You're just here. You're just here and you exist, right? And then you do all the work that we need you to do. Right, that the machines can't do, or that the machines are too expensive to do. So here you go. Good for you, I say. And that's where it's ultimately leading. We are going to be the Eloys to the Morlocks, right? Where the Morlocks then come and feast on our carcasses, as they already are doing anyway. I mean, if you look at the world, modern slavery, wage slavery. Russia apparently abducted thousands, if not tens of thousands, of children from the Ukraine, from orphanages. And the BBC did an investigation, and the Kremlin says, we don't know anything about it. Then they actually followed up on a couple of kids. And that's not right. They changed the birth certificates, the birth dates, the names, right, the nationalities of the kids. There you go. That'll do. These are now our children. Thank you very much. Are they better off? Are they worth it? I don't know. All I know is that the world is going to hell in a handbasket, and faster than ever before. It has never been in living memory, or historical books, as it were. It has never been quite this bad. At the same time, it has never been quite this good, which is really the paradox. We have amazing medical facilities, and we've done some amazing work in the medical field. Fantastic stuff. People can live healthily for a long time. There's food in abundance if we distribute it right. Our technology is phenomenal. I mean, it really is. I'm sitting here in Australia, on my desk, and I've got my computer screen in front of me. I've got a laptop open. My mobile phone is sitting here as well. My kids are sleeping. I've got a globe internally lit of the world just next to my desk, so I can see, what the world looks like all round, not flat. And I speak to you wherever you are on this. I mean, I look at the globe now, and you could be anywhere on the globe, anywhere, right? I know a lot of you in America. I'm looking at from my angle here. I can see most of the Pacific, and I see a bit of the west coast of the States, and then down to Mexico and down to Central America. That's my view of the world right now, Pacific Ocean. But it truly boggles the mind. And it was only a short 140 years ago that we managed powered heavier than air flight. Right? It's only probably 100 I want to say about 160 years thereabouts since we put telegraph poles up all over the place. Radio, right? The 19th century laid the foundations for the 20th and 21st century in many ways. Right? We electricity, right? Radio, even early forms of television, photography, certainly. The old stuff, the light hitting the chemicals and all that. The old style photography. Flight, that's a big one. That was a game changer. Flight, come on. We had to walk or ride or take a cart or a ship to get anywhere in the world. It took forever. Flight changed that. Flight shrank the world to hours away. We no longer talk weeks. Anywhere in the world, you can get within 24 hours. If you have your own transportation, like if you own a plane or whatever, a flying machine, you can get anywhere in the world within 24 hours. And even if you go commercially, it doesn't take you months anymore. It doesn't take you months to get anywhere. And that's, of course, also the reason why diseases spread so quickly. Right? There's another thing for that. And why all of our problems are spreading so quickly. Imagine a world 200 years ago where all the world's problems would have spread across the globe as fast as they do today. We would be in a very bad state indeed.
Yeah, we would.
People were slowed down. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just slowed down significantly by everything. That's all gone. And yet, with all this technology, with all these marvelous things, and some of them are like magic. They really are. I mean, you look at your mobile phone. And I remember when they first came out, they used to be bricks. Yeah, if you remember, right? You used to carry a suitcase. That was your mobile. It's just nuts. Yeah. And we hardly any of it. Yeah, that's right. That's right. You might as well talk, buddy.
I don't know if you can hear me or not, that's all.
Yeah, all good, my friend.
Yeah,
I can
cool.
hear you.
So FM.
Before I couldn't, now I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Well, tell me if
you're right,
it goes bad
frequency
again.
modulation was something that the Germans invented, right?
Yeah, that's right. So FM was used by the tank commanders, and no one else was using it. So it was AM before then, and then FM was adopted. It took ages to adopt FM for the radio waves for commercial radio. That was in the 80s.
Wow.
So it can't be understated. That's such a huge change in fidelity of sound, but the use of FM to coordinate the tanks was German. Just extraordinary. I remember that. It's like the Montgolfier brothers. I'll never forget that ever. And their balloons.
Yes, exactly. It's always brothers. It's the Wright brothers, the Montgolfier brothers. I wonder why that is.
Mm.
Huh?
Yeah, that's right. No, I think there's something. There might be something to that, Mickey. They're quantum entangled.
Maybe that's what you have to do.
Yeah. That's why twins can normally finish each other's sandwiches. I mean, sentences.
I always finish everybody's sandwich.
That's from Frozen.
Yes, I know. That's what I thought you were going to say. Oh, that's gold. It's yeah. I don't know if you haven't seen Frozen, it's two people, or certainly one person that's trying to really hard to have something in common with another. You're my soulmate.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
No. Hilarious.
Oh, yes. Actually, you're right, Fleeced Surf. Fleeced Surf said brothers are the only ones who can fight and still work together.
Yeah, there you go.
That's probably true. There's a good, yeah, I like that. That makes sense. But I will read the book, Fleeced Surf. I will buy it. James Glick, Faster.
Yeah, right.
The Acceleration of Just About Everything. Good reads. He recommended a book, and I will read it because I actually read Mr. Glick's book Chaos, which I thought was very interesting. It's quite an old book now, but nonetheless.
It's not the guy that replies to the spam, is it?
Mr. Glick?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
Because he's actually pretty funny.
Okay. Cool. No, I don't know. I have to say I'm not sure. But yeah, look, I right now the whole world is a gigantic mess. I'm good at one thing. I can see patterns. I can see patterns. I can see movements. I can see outcomes. Right now, I can't see anything, Dave. I can see nothing. There's a lot of noise. You see, that's the problem. There's a lot of noise, and there's no clear. Okay.
It wasn't him.
This
different guy.
There's James Beach.
Yeah, but he's very funny, actually.
Cool. I'll read that too. But it's yeah, and I'm trying to make sense of it. And I wonder, Fleeced Surf, if it is because everything is so much faster now. All right, so there's no time for trends to actually build up. It's like when something goes viral, right? Mm-hmm. So a person looks at something, then they go, "Oh, this is funny." They set it on, and no, this is funny, and someone else sends it on, and all of a sudden it just snowballs, right? And there's no real good reason why something goes viral or something that doesn't. Not really. I mean, most of the things that go viral are usually quite funny or they're insightful. Mm-hmm. But there's a million posts that are funny or insightful.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
At the same time as the one that goes viral. Same with the gun. Remember Gundam Style?
Yeah, Gangnam Style. Yeah.
It was the first ever video to hit 1 billion hits, ever.
Mm-hmm.
And look, it's actually a pretty catchy song. I got to say, but
yes. There
are many, many, many other catchy songs. Right? So the question really becomes then, what is the reason for these particular items, artifacts, to generate such an interest that it leads into this avalanche of click. And the answers I have no idea, Dave. I don't know.
I'll tell you something that. If there was 3 songs before yours and the natural progression from the first song through the second to the third, not because of lyrics, not because of music itself, but because of attention and the way you processed that the 4th song that came along might have met all of those targets and more, and it becomes the one that's goes viral. The other songs might have been good for their own reasons and hit their demo, right? The demographic. Yeah. But one one might cut through, Mickey. It might cut through the noise. You know, those novelty songs that just went crazy. You know,
Yeah.
Shut up, a you face.
I remember that.
What's the matter, you? Gotta not respect. And I'm not going to sing the rest for a copyright issue.
Shut up your face.
Shut up, your face. That song only worked not on its own, but because of what it was in amongst.
Right, I'm with you.
All
yeah,
right.
no, fair.
So that's why I said
point.
that song number 1, number 2, number 3. It depends on what's currently playing. Does it fit? Is it the next step? Because if you go back a couple of steps, you're not going to kind of make it. So
I see.
Everyone's creating things at the same time, usually with a vast amount of influences around them, and just the order in which they get launched can be a win or a fail. The KLF were way ahead of where they should have been, and their soundscape, because I can talk about music for hours, and their soundscape was so new that it didn't work the first time. And they waited 18 months for the world to catch up and the playing field to be those couple of steps prior. Then they relaunched again and it went mad. It was a tremendous hit. Same song.
So what that means is it is actually buoyed, carried above the rest by its peers in a way. So the pattern that I have to look for then, I need to look at the movement of all things and see what pops to the top, really, right? But you can't look at this popping up on the top as a singular event of its own accord, but rather as its cultural environment.
In the sea, it's bobbing in. It's got to rise to the top. Yeah.
I understand that. I can actually work with that. So, well, if that is the case, let me just recompute a little bit. If that is the truth, then we are, well, in a way,
85%.
we are, okay, so if it's an expression of cultural, I guess, uniformity, or at least at that time, then right now, what the world is experiencing is it's a readying for chaos. We are getting ready for really hard times, and the overall psyche of the human race is fleeing to certainties. And if you do that, if you analyze it in this way, then all of a sudden all the events sort of make sense, because what you do in situations of crisis, you create certainty for your people. You become a strong leader. You solve problems. You have strong opinions. And that's what people flock towards. And that makes sense for all human-initiated activities, including Gaza and the Ukraine war, as well as political outcomes, because people are polarizing, as you know. Left or right, the center is dead. The center is dead. There's nothing happening in the center.
I believe that was because of how the media is portraying their the voting audience.
Yeah.
Because they want their demographic and they sell to their demographic, they're the ones actually doing the polarizing.
Yeah.
And then a net result of that polarization, then you're exasperating and deleting the middle, because it can only be the two sides, apparently, they tell us, Mackie.
Well, it's a zero-sum game, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly right. And people, of course, are looking for confirmation bias. They're looking to have their opinion confirmed. It's like, oh, yeah, I always thought that made sense. Or it's an inherited opinion. I hate those the most.
You tell us, Quimby.
We'll follow you into everywhere. It's a real problem, because inherited opinions usually don't pass through any filter. So if you learn something in school or anywhere, you go, okay, I'll learn it. And then if you understand the method and how you get there, and mathematics, what doesn't matter, anything, and you learn it, right? But if you inherit an opinion, where there's no learning involved, right, no understanding of the opinion, it'll just it passes straight into your brain. And we spoke about memes the other day, the selfish meme, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what that is. An inherited opinion is like a virus that infected your brain, like a prion. Those rogue proteins that turn your brain into mad cow brain. That's what that is. And there's no good reason for it to be there other than that you let it in.
That's right.
It's like the vampire at the threshold to your house.
Lost boys.
You're a moron. You're a moron. You can't let them in. It's like, oh, can I come in? Sure. Come on, suck my blood. It's okay. And this is the same. You have these, and again, inherited opinions are really, because it might sound right. It might sound good, right? And then you just uncritically, you go, stop thinking you will be happy. That's right. But that's how they break down soldiers. This is from Full Metal Jacket, isn't it?
No, it's not. That's from Malcolm in the Middle.
Is it? It looks like Full Metal Jacket.
It's a very, very funny scene.
That's cool.
I'm not going to give it away. I've pasted it into the chat so they can see it. Mickey, we can talk about it after the show.
Good man.
But look, that's a great example of it. Of inherited opinion, though, when you encounter it in someone else that you're talking with, and you know it, and you can test for it, because you say, oh wow, how did you come to that conclusion? Without being, bitchy or spiteful or a know-it-all, you just say, oh, how did you come to that conclusion? And they go, oh, they said it on the news.
Like where everybody gets their opinion. Don't you get your opinion from there?
Yeah, sure. That's right. So that's when you slowly back away into the hedge, Mackie, just like Homer does. But see, because you're never going to win a fight against someone who is programmed to respond in that inherited opinion way.
That's right.
Because you're not their source of information.
Yep.
And it's regardless if you're actually right and they're not. I'm not saying they're wrong, but maybe you are right. You have your research. You can quote meta-studies. You could, if they bothered to want to change their opinion, provide them with mountains of information for them to consume, and then formulate their own opinion. But do they? Short answer is no.
Not today.
Not today, Satan. Guess what, Mackie? 2 minutes.
Kidding. Oh my goodness. That went quick. Look, I am sorry that we had a bit of glitch. Hopefully our listeners didn't really catch any of it. I hope it was just between us on our connection. But you do what you can. The show must go on, so we battle right through it. That's what we do. That's the thing that happens. And hopefully you enjoyed our little banter. We'll be back with the Shiny Side Out. I think today's Thursday, right? Yeah, Shiny Side Out on time flies on on Sunday. It'll be fun. I'm gonna go into why our reality might not be our reality after all. That should be pretty cool, I think. And whatever you do, don't touch that dial. I'm sure something is going to come up that's going to be pretty cool. I am pretty sure that's what will happen. Most of all, though, be safe. And if the music started now, that would be really good.
It won't be. It's going to be another minute. So I was watching that story about the rich Bentley driver caused Niagara Falls checkpoint bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Their car to explode. For some reason. Because Kiss cancelled, right, their show. I didn't know that the Bentleys came out with a self-destruct countdown on their cars. I'm probably mistaken.
I didn't know that either.
I must be mistaken. There it is.
That's funny. Oh, and there's the music. So please be safe, all, and we will share your company soon. Now.